Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm your host, Ninon de Rosa, and my co-host is AJ Dean. Sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Ninon de Rosa, and I'm the host for you for the next half an hour. I don't know how long all this is going to take, but we have a fascinating guest, absolutely incredible in this world, that we don't really hear too much about. And I think we need to hear a little bit more about who this young lady is. But I don't ever do any of the introducing. So I'm going to pass you over to AJ. Would you like to introduce our guest?
Oh my gosh, thank you, Ninon. It is such an honor. We have a very special VIP celebrity guest, Deana Martin. She's the proud daughter of Dean Martin, and she's a singer, actress, and performer, and the author of this wonderful book that I am reading right now, Memories Are Made of This. Please go out and get it on Amazon.com. You can also get it on DeanaMartin.com. It's a fabulous read. And I also want to say, please watch Deana Martin on DeanaMartin.com, YouTube, and Facebook at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. And I'm so excited to talk about her latest album, Swing Street. And she also has a radio show, Ninon, isn't this fabulous, called Dean and Deana Martin's Nightcap. It's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on 77 WABC. And it is my great honor to welcome Deana Martin. Hello, lovely Deana.
Well, how are you? Thank you very much. So I guess we need to have a little sippy poo. Cheers.
Oh, I don't have my sippy poo. Oh, you have a martini. You've got a martini there.
I'll toast you.
But you know what? The radio show is on at 9 o'clock Eastern on Sundays.
Oh, 9 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. So that's 6 o'clock California time, Pacific time, correct?
Right. Yeah. So I think so at 9 o'clock Eastern and 6 o'clock your time in Vegas.
My time.
So
now, Deana, I met you some time ago in Las Vegas, and I had the honor of speaking to you and also your husband, John, and it was absolutely wonderful. And it's funny because when AJ just put your book up, you know, my mind flashed all the way back to your father's shows and his amazing performances. And you've written this book. Why did you write the book?
well, you know what? After my dad passed away, and which was actually on Christmas Day, 1995, First of all, I wanted to listen to more of his music. I wanted him, around. And I was watching his TV shows, and I would go to Steubenville, Ohio, where he was born, and talk to, all the people there.
Of course.
And it's really because I was talking with them, and they all said, well, you know what? You should write a book about your dad. I said, I probably should. So I was taking notes and hearing all of their stories. And I thought, you know what? I am going to do this. And as I sat down at my dining room table with a yellow legal pad, I was writing things and just trying to remember, everything, through my life. It was good times, bad times, happy times, people came into our lives and left. And so it was just me getting closer to my dad through, and I would talk.
And did that bother you at all? Did it bother you since he passed away? And you had a very, very strong relationship with your father, if I remember rightly. And so this was going back into some parts of your life that sort of made you sit there and start crying again, because I know this is what women do. And so it was a little bit sort of hard for you to write this book, but at the same time, you continued it.
It was difficult, but it was also, it helped me because it reminded me of everything that I've been through in my life, and that everybody, it's not just because I'm Dean Martin's daughter. This is everybody. This is what happens in all of our lives. There's births, there's funerals, there's marriages, there's divorces, there's you're getting new sisters and brothers, and things happen in your life, and it's everybody. It happens to everybody. No one gets out of
nobody escapes the real life. And it's funny, it doesn't matter whether you're rich or whether you're poor or what family you come from. It doesn't make any difference. It still happens. You come into this life with one breath and you leave with one breath. And it's what
That's
you
right.
do in between. But your life was a little different because you went through a lot of tragedies of your childhood. let's go to the happy side of your childhood. When did you first start performing with your father? Because you performed, you were the sort of treasure of your father as a performer.
Yes.
As well as a daughter.
When I was very young, but I remember, going to Vegas. At 9 years old, 10 years old, going to the Sands Hotel, sitting in the Copa room, ringside. And you would hear the announcer say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel is proud to present the star of our show, direct from the bar, Dean Martin."
Direct from the bar.
And then the audience may go, "Oh, there he is. Now, there he is." So he, had on the tuxedo. He was handsome. He was funny. He sang. He never sang all the way through a song. He said, "You want to hear the song all the way through? Buy my albums." He made everybody laugh. He made people feel good. He sounded beautiful. And right then I said, that's what I'm going to do. I have to do that.
And you have to be with him. So did your father actually introduce you to the stage, or did you start on your own?
No, I started on my own. From school, first of all, I was given, ballet lessons, tap lessons, piano lessons, never any singing lessons. Don't know why, but, so it was in me. Not to mention, all of Dean Martin's kids, all my brothers, we all had a great sense of humor.
How many children are there, Deana?
7. Dad had 7, and we adopted Sasha, and so there were 8 of us. And,
wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. Craig, Claudia, Gail, Deana, Dino, Ricky, Gina, Sasha.
Can you repeat that? Just kidding. No.
It was. What was funny is when the phone would ring and they'd say, "It's for Deana," because it's for Dean. Is it for Gina? No, it's Jean or Dean. Who's for? Because everybody had the same name. And but it was a lot of fun. But performing, so I always, I was in rehearsals, school plays and all of that. And, I went to Beverly Hills High School. And, then I went, of course, to Darlington College of Arts in England. But when I was here,
I didn't know that. So you've had some British education.
Yes, I know.
I can tell by the accent.
I came back with a
British accent.
I came back with an accent, a British accent. I said, "Hello, Father. I'm going to have a bath." And you go, "Dean, but because he was so cute." But it was always in me. I always wanted to entertain and perform. Yeah. And I think the first time I was on my dad's show was with my first record, which was a hit that I had recorded. It was country, and I sang in Nashville with Lee Hazelwood. Of course, he's the one who wrote, that went for Nancy, for my gal pal Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking. And, so it just progressed from there. So I was on the Dean Martin show. I went around, I was in Star Spangled Girl. I did a lot of national touring companies. It's just in me. I'm an actress, I'm a singer.
Was it hard for you, being Dean Martin's daughter? Did they expect more from you? Did you always feel that you really had to be on and you really had to sort of be there because of your dad?
I did, because, I want people to know I did it myself. My dad, Dean Martin would never pick up a phone and call Lou Wasserman and say, "Put my daughter in your movie." That wouldn't happen. I'd have to go down and, a cattle call or whatever and read for the part or sing for the part, and he told me, he said, "You may not get a part. Go on to the next one. It's a business. This is, show business. And so you just go down there, be the best that you possibly can be. When you go in, know all your lyrics, stand on your mark, sing from your heart." He said, "If you don't get it, go to the next one." And so that's the way he was. But for me, knowing that, I'm Deana Martin now.
So I'm Deana Martin. I'm not Dean Martin.
Right.
Let's get this straight.
I'm a girl. I'm not going to sound like him. I look like him, about a foot shorter. But we have the same face and same sense of humor. But I tried a little harder. Probably not harder than other people, but for me, I wanted to be really good at what I did.
Absolutely.
And
you are.
Oh, thank you. But the cutest thing about my dad, he said, "Don't embarrass me." Get out.
Oh, good Lord.
Don't embarrass me. And that's, I know, I saw, and I don't think I ever embarrassed him. So that's a good thing.
So how did you get involved in, you were on your dad's show and you got involved with this comedy thing, and you just had said that, he had comedy in him, obviously, and then you also had that together. Now, apparently there was a lot of times when you were on stage, which was just very, very natural, you were just laughing and joking as of no script. How did that go?
Well, it's just there. And growing up with, my dad was so funny. He could make anything funny. It wasn't he was telling jokes, but he just had this sense of humor. And we all kind of have it. Just growing up with him. And that's, so it's there and it's easy. But he made me feel comfortable. When I would do the Dean Martin show, just as everybody else who would be on the Dean Martin show, and I would go down every Sunday and watch, there's Peggy Lee, let's see, Ella Fitzgerald, the Mills Brothers, all the people who were there, and Sid Charisse, and so they're singing and dancing. And Dad was never there for the whole week. He had Lee Hale would stand in for him. It said Dean on his chest, and he would do the singing with Peggy Lee or the dance with, Sid Charisse. And then Dad would come in on Sunday. But I would go down all the time. And especially, when I did the show with him. Yes. I was there, of course, for all the rehearsals. I was there, early, staying late.
Well, you had to keep that reputation up. You had to keep your father's reputation. I mean, hello.
Right. So he was, he made everybody feel, relaxed, and it was a relaxed show. And one thing I learned from him, leave in the mistakes. You make a mistake, just go on. You can't, don't be perfect. And that's what I do with my Facebook Live show that I do right here. And, so it's live. So there's no editing.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. You talked about this Facebook show. Is it on YouTube? And do you have it through, what platform do you use? Do you use Zoom?
So it's on Facebook. It's on DeanaMartin, .com on my website. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And so it's every Friday. And in fact, this past Friday was the 73rd consistent Friday. Unbelievable. We've done all of this. Thank God for my handsome husband, John, and Rosario, and my music director, who's in Boca Raton, Italy, not in Boca Raton, Florida. I think he's in London right now. But, so it's all of us coming together and working very, very hard. I mean, this has been incredible. We haven't missed one Friday, since this whole thing happened. I'll tell you what had happened was that COVID came and all my shows were canceled. Mm-hmm. And I had some sold out shows, and I went, what am I going to do? And so Rosario, fabulous Rosario, said, well, do a Facebook Live show. I said, what's Facebook Live? Yeah. So I got my little, iPhone, put it on a tripod down here. Yeah. And, John's on the music, because I have all of my music tracks from all the albums I've done. I have all of the music with no voice on it.
Wow.
So we can play that, and I can sing live. And, and then in between, I'll tell a joke. Sometimes they're terrible, but I mean, everybody seems to like it because it's funny. And I remind people of my dad, and I'm making people happy all over the world.
And that's exactly what it's funny you did that, because this is how NinonSpeaks started, was because of the COVID. And I was like, I've had NinonSpeaks for years, but it's always been a very private show. It's always been something I've done very privately. And then I found AJ, and AJ became my co-host, and also she's my producer. But like you, we do 2 or 3 shows a week, but we're always consistent. We're very, very consistent. I think that's what people look for. But also, I think now you're doing a radio show. Now, what is this radio show that you're too pretty to do a radio show.
Yes.
I've got to see you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Well, it's it's 77 WABC music radio in New York. Yeah. And it's, I have a lot of pallies who do it. Joe Piscopo has one on Sunday night before me. Tony Orlando has it on Saturday night, Cousin Brucey. And I remember doing all of their shows. And so it was just a natural thing. It's, for me to be able to play all this fabulous music, it's, and bring back memories for everyone. It's not only just on my Facebook Live, which, as I say, we had over, 500,000 people viewed it this past week. So it's pretty
Fabulous.
amazing.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
so now it's, a bigger audience, and it's just, I don't have to put on makeup, and I can just sit
No.
I'll be in New York and in the studio, and
You
it's
can be in the south of France having a lovely martini and doing your show.
yes, I can have my little Deana martini.
There you
Cheers.
go. I
A little
love that.
sippy spoon.
You know, some things never happen. Some things never leave. You know.
It's good.
So the radio show you quite like, because it's something you say you don't have to put on makeup on. There's a lot of things you don't have to do, but at the same time we don't get to see you and your expressions and everything, and that's okay with you, right?
Well, yes, because I have on that Friday show, so
So
that's
you
on,
got that.
so that's every Friday. So this is a Sunday nightcap. It's so cute. Dean and Deana Martin's Sunday nightcap, or,
Yeah.
a nightcap. And so I cap off the week, and I can just sit there and I can play any, I'm picking out the music, and then telling my
Telling your
memories about
story.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my story
Do
about
you-
what
When you play some of the music, do you explain sometimes where it came from or what it is? Because you would know the history of probably every song you play. So you can actually talk about, well, this reminds me of that, or this reminds me of that, and this was in my dad's show. Do you do that?
Oh, absolutely. Not to mention, there's this, I think it's a sax player that I was there when they were recording some of the songs that my dad did at Capitol Studios,
Mhm.
100 years ago. I'd say 50, 60 years ago. And he played on the Swing Street album that I did in, at Capitol also. Same guy, fabulous, so, and Chuck Berghofer, who's my bass player.
Yeah.
He was the one, he did that fabulous bass line, boom, 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 on, these boots are made for walking.
Yes.
He's still
yes.
my bass player. Okay. And so I will play, Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for
For
Walking.
walking.
And,
Yeah.
that bass line, that's Chuck Berghofer. And
Cool.
I was there, and he plays for me. So it's all the backstories. Or, when I met Bobby Darin, or, and Peggy Lee. And so I'm playing the great music. Or I was in the studio with my dad when he recorded Memories Are Made of This at Capitol Studios.
And that's what makes it. That's what makes it fascinating, Deana, because it's people. Everything's geared sort of towards, in the music industry, towards the younger generation. But hey, we have music too, and we had celebrations too, and we had all the fun times. It may have been different music at that time, but I think there's what you've done. You've given the opportunity for other people to still hear that beautiful music and take you back to that incredible romantic time. I mean, I'm sure you had romantic times with your husband John, and you've got music that reminds you of all that, and it just brings back all those memories. Now, do you have children? Do you have any children?
Yes, a son and 4 grandchildren. In fact, there's Hunter, Jagger, Berlin, and Knight, and they're all beautiful. I finally got a little girl, a little blonde, and so they're fantastic. They're all out there in in Burbank, in California, and so we're all over the place, but they are beautiful. And Mickey does movies. Our son does. He produces movies and things. So it's it all kind of runs in the family. In Berlin, she's a fabulous little singer and dancer, so she'll be great. And she's 10. So it's, so I've got a 21-year-old grandson and a 7-year-old grandson, and, everybody in between. So it's,
you don't look old enough, Deana. You don't look old enough.
But you know what? I exercise and eat right, and, and have, and I'm doing what I love to do. So,
and also you have happy times. You have happy times, don't you?
Yeah, I love happy times.
Yeah, happy times.
It's, you have to have a positive outlook on life.
Yes.
I mean, there are things that happen. So, I say, please God, help me through this, and off we go, and everything, everything seems to turn out. But it's what you make of each day.
I think you're absolutely right. It's what you put into each day and what you make, because you're the only person in charge of your day. AJ, would you like to ask a question with Deana?
Yes, I wanted to just say thank you, Deana, for writing this book. My father loved Dean Martin and the Rat Pack, but he loved Dean Martin, and he used to even mimic some of his funny jokes, like with the binoculars, and he would,
Oh, the salt and pepper.
yeah, the salt and pepper, and he would, pretend to be. He got that from Dean Martin, from Dean Martin's TV show, and so my dad loved him. I want to thank you for writing this beautiful love letter to your father. It really is. It touched my heart. I'm enjoying it so much, and I think you're absolutely beautiful and wonderful. And would you ever consider coming to Las Vegas?
Oh, yes. In fact, my husband's talking with people right now. We didn't want to be the first in. Let's see how it all
Calm
goes
it
with this.
down,
But
yeah.
I love Vegas, and so so I play there a lot, and the Smith Center or wherever, whoever asks me. I mean, we I'll book a
Caesar's
day
Palace.
there.
Caesar's Palace, because you're top. Caesar's Palace. That would be right.
Oh, Caesars, yes. Oh, yeah, that was the first. That was the first one, but that was a long time ago. But I love Caesars. I love all the and I used to go to the Riviera, the Riv, and the Sands and all of that. But now, yes, we're working on that, and I have to say we're so busy right now with the TV show and the radio show. I mean, the Facebook Live and the radio show, and and interviews and learning new songs. And we'll be back into the recording studio because I've learned 72 new songs just in the past 72 weeks because people have made requests.
Do you write your own? Do you write your own lyrics?
Sometimes, yes, absolutely.
Right.
I change things a little, but I've written a few songs, and we're going to be doing that. And it's all part of it. It's just entertaining people. And we've, I learned so much from my dad and all the people that I grew up with. Uncle Frank, Uncle Sammy. I wore Sammy Davis Jr.'s tuxedo, and it fit me. And I danced around the house singing, Bojangles or something. But it's I've had such an incredible life and opportunities, but I always make the best of whatever is happening. And just
when you were growing up, Deana, you grew up with a lot of the celebrity children. Are you still in touch with some of them, and you ever performed together? I'm thinking of Liza Minnelli. Were you friendly? And I think Laura Luft as well. Are you still friendly with?
Laura, definitely. And Liza, I haven't talked to Liza in a little bit. Nancy Sinatra, Tina Sinatra. All of my friends.
But you grew up with these children, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm thinking back to the Dean Martin and it was the Martin and Sinatra Christmas show that we had on the Dean Martin show. Unbelievable. All of us were there. And so all the Sinatras, all the Martins, and we got to sing together. And it was
did you all go on stage?
Christmas show.
Were you all on?
I've been very, very lucky and very blessed, and I still have all of my friends that we. Of course, I call them on their birthdays and I sing to them if we're not around. But I mean, that's something that we always do.
Yes.
I do want to say one thing, if I may, Ninon.
Go ahead.
Chris Jason and Drew Anthony, who perform as Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin at the Tuscany in Las Vegas at the Rat Pack show. They wanted me to send you their love, their best wishes, and their best regards. So I wanted to do that also. And I want to say I absolutely love you, Deana. You're absolutely gorgeous, and you're just so beautiful. Isn't she, Ninon?
Oh, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's what I love about you is your tenacity, and you'll keep going, and you'll keep yourself up, and you've got all this going on. You've got your Facebook show, you've got your radio show, you're still performing. You haven't given up, and there's no reason why you should, but a lot of people do, and you haven't. You've still got that energy. But what I wanted to ask you, thinking back, with your father and performing with him and the whole thing, what was one of your best moments that you really felt, wow, I've got such a great dad? And I'm sure there was many of them, but there's got to be one that stands out.
There were many, but one of the first times I was on his show, it was so cute. And I was 17. I had on my prom dress. My little hair was up on the side, so I was 17. And I sang a duet with him but, and it's still, you know, it's online now. You can see it. It's all the time. And the way he looked at me and he came over, he said,
Oh,
"You are my lucky star." And so, and we sang a duet together. And I'll never forget that moment.
that
That was
moment.
the first, I mean, it was just, and when and now, thank heavens, I'm able to see it all of the
Yes.
time. You know,
Yes.
so it's just the way he looked at me and how he sang. And then he said, "You weren't nervous, were you?" I said, "No, Daddy, would you believe petrified?" And he says, "Now don't anybody," he's talking to the camera. He says, "Now all of you out there, don't make my little girl nervous now." So it was the way he would do, you know, and it's on the Dean Martin show. Yeah,
But
that's
he's
right.
such a
It's my
director. He was such a director, and he was such a, I mean, he did so many things that were ad lib. I happen to have another show, and well, even like this show, I'm very ad lib. I don't pre-interview anybody. I just like to have it off the cuff. That's what I like, because I like the honesty. I like the touch. I like all that stuff. You know, your father, I used to see him an awful lot in Beverly Hills at Chasen's. I'm sure you know the restaurant Chasen's used to
Oh
be.
yes, yes. Of
And
course, we had chili.
oh, the chili, yeah, the Chasen's chili. Elizabeth Taylor used to have that chili flown all over the world, remember?
That's, oh yeah, I do. I remember that.
Yeah, she used to have
And
that.
you know, going to Chasen's with my dad was always great. And one of his last birthdays, you know, John and I took him, and he was just fabulous. And when we walked outside, all the people out there, he was signing autographs, you
Oh,
know. And I said, you know, and there was it got to be too much. People were bringing, you know, I know they were probably selling them. I said, "Dad, you don't have to do that." He said, "It comes with, it's, you know, it's
it
part of
comes with the
the
territory.
business."
That's what you do. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you do.
yeah, it's what he did.
And
Yeah.
it's really not a problem. If you could say anything to all the movie star children out there and entertain children out there, what would you advice would you give them as of growing up with the successful and, you know, the very prominent people?
You know, I say to everyone, be yourself and try, and whatever it is that you're going to do, put your whole heart and soul into it, and treat people the way you want to be treated, and they will treat you. Hopefully everybody will treat you the way you want to be treated if you treat people that way. That's one of the things my dad taught me. But learn what you're going to have to do. Rehearse every day. You know, learn your songs. If you're going to be an actor, you know, and here's the one thing I think that's really important is, I know John will probably be unhappy with it. Don't be a jerk. You know, go there, be on time, you know, be a nice person, you know what you're supposed to do, treat people, as I said, you know, with respect,
Yes.
and you'll get by. And so the thing, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Make mistakes. It's okay. You
But
know, it's
you know,
perfectly okay.
it's funny when you're on set, and I always say this about a band, when they're playing and they make a mistake, they're the only ones that know that they've made the mistake. The audience have no idea they just made a mistake. So your mistake, and as your father probably said to you, if it's a mistake, just keep going. Don't worry about it, because nobody knows about it anyway.
That's right. And you know, when you're up there and you're live and you have your band behind you, you know, they bring their day into that.
Of
So
course.
maybe, you know, they didn't have a good day and they're going to come in, and you have to be positive for them, get them up, you know, and say, "Come on, we're going to have a great show." And, you know, if I tell a joke, laugh. You know, it's okay.
There you go. It's okay to laugh at your own joke.
Yeah, you know, you know what are you going to do? You know, why not?
I mean, so, yeah, you know, I mean, we all do that. We all laugh at our own jokes. And we say, okay, you didn't laugh at it. Okay, so it wasn't so funny, but to me, it's funny. What can you do?
Yeah, that's right. You know, I'll tell you, and one of the lines my dad used to say is, "All right, when you get home tonight and you get into bed and you think about, you're going to laugh." You know, when you think about that tonight, you're going to laugh. You know, so it was cute. So it was just his ad libs, and you know, it made that's what I learned from him, and I bring that into all my shows, and people, you know, adore it. And for me to be able to record "True Love" with him, the Cole Porter song that's on my Destination Moon album, so beautiful for me to sing with him that beautiful Cole Porter duet. My handsome husband John found the original Nelson Riddle arrangement. So we went in with the fabulous musicians, re-recorded it, and then I had my dad's voice, and the engineer at Capitol, who put that together for me was Al Schmidt. He's the one, he put Natalie Cole and Nat King Cole's, Unforgettable together. And I sat there and I was listening to my dad's voice, and I couldn't get through it, for the first few times. And then about the fourth time, it was perfect. And we go in, and the way he put it together was just phenomenal. So True Love on the Destination Moon album, it was the Nelson Riddle arrangement. And, so for me to be able to sing with my dad is just it's just fabulous.
That's phenomenal. Thanks so much, Deana. And I'm sorry, we have to wrap it up. Sorry about that.
Well, I want to thank all our audience out there. And of course, I want to thank very, very much, Deana. You've been amazing. You've given us an insight of a little bit of what life is coming from a celebrity. Thank you, everybody. AJ, thank you for putting this together. She's a great producer. Isn't she amazing?
Fantastic. Yeah, and you made it just easy and painless and fun. Thank you.
That's how it should be. Well, I want all of you to take care, and thank you so much, Deana.
Thank you.
Cheers to you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye. Take care. See you soon.
Bye-bye.